on the horizon, 15 degrees south of east. I had chosen the campsite by compass, counting on that earliest possible sunrise, but now the sky abruptly darkened, and a chilling rain began to fall. I hurried through breakfast, coffee, a packet of sugary instant oatmeal, dried apricots. Just as I zipped closed the tent and hoisted my day pack, the rain stopped, and patches of blue poked through the streaming clouds. The day before, from the rim across the canyon to the south, I had spotted a small ancient ruin, tucked under the mesa top, visible from few vantage points. With binoculars, I had invented an approach route, memorizing landmarks that would look a lot different when I was upon them. The ruin stood only a quarter-mile east of my camp, 400 feet above it, but I couldn't see it from camp, and I knew that a direct approach would be stymied by overhanging bands of rock. I was off at 9 a.m. 80 feet below camp on the canyon floor, ice glazed the pothole pools. Here, thanks to the vagaries of the jutting skyline, the sun would not rise till about 11, more than 4 hours after its rays found my tent. Most hikers in canyon country regard the ideal campsite as a sandy bottom bench under the limbs of some generous cottonwood, close to the trickling water. Not me. And not the Anasazi, whose lives were woven tight into the wheeling circles of the sun. On a bedrock of blue Halgaito shale, I hiked back upstream, retracing the path by which I had entered the canyon 2 days before. At the first north tributary, I veered right into a short, steep draw, then zigzagged upward among the ledges. The brown soil froze my footprints. I plucked sagebrush leaves, rubbed them, and breathed the bursting scent, essence of the desert southwest. Just below the rim, I had to climb a 10-foot wall. Be careful, this could be trouble, nagged the fussy worrier in my head, the one whose doubts had kept me awake in the night. Big deal, it's easy, answered his cocky antagonist. A right hand jammed in a crack to pull on, a small hold high for the left foot, and I was up. The wind hit me as I emerged on the rim, tearing my eyes. I pulled the hood of my jacket over my head and stood facing south, away from the wind. There, across the canyon, silhouetted like a cardboard cutout beneath the sun, was the dizzy peninsula of stone that it had taken me the whole previous day to explore. Far to the east, dull brown in the low sun, heaved the humpbacked domes of the Combe Ridge. At that moment, was there another living person in the sweep of cosmos I surveyed? I set off east across the mesa. Pausing on a point of rimrock, I gazed down into the canyon, searching for the yellow dot of my tent. It took a while to find it, and when I did, I was impressed by how lost, how obscure my camp seemed in the context of the intricate canyon. A helicopter flying over, searching for an overdue hiker, might easily miss that yellow dot. A ground team pushing down the canyon would have no clue of the camp, hidden on a ledge 80 feet above. Soon I recognized the ovoid boulder, the pair of pinyon pines I had memorized the day before. I looked for a way to clamber down under the mesa rim and found, after a search, the devious zigzag that must have been the ancient inhabitants' only approach route. 80 feet beneath the rim, I headed back west on a good ledge and turned a corner. All at once, the ruin stood before me, half hidden under a 5-foot-high overhang. 5 rooms had been built here, side by side, sharing common walls. The 2 on either end had fallen to pieces, but the central 3 were exquisitely preserved, the worked sandstone slabs laid horizontal, mortared in place with brown mud, in which I could see the press marks of patting fingers. Before the ruin, scattered in the dirt, I found scores of broken potsherds. Some of them were decorated with jagged designs in the distinctive style called mesa verde, black on white. Those sherds and the masonry of the rooms told me that the Anasazi had built here during the Pueblo III period, sometime between AD 1150 and 1300. I knew that by the latter date they had left for good, for the whole of the Colorado Plateau, on which my Utah Canyon was but a tiny wrinkle, had been abandoned just before the onset of the 14th century. I lingered for more than an hour at the site, gobbling an early lunch of chocolate cheese.